Dr. Jagmohan Humar, President of the Mahatma Gandhi Society of Ottawa. Our speakers, special speakers for this afternoon, Dr. Paul Young of McMaster University and Skanta Sivagathachaya, student of Carleton University. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. Some 30 years ago, when I finished college and took up my first job, it was as a lecturer in a college. So I too had this 50-minute classes. But unlike Dr. Younger, who seems to look at it as some kind of a restriction, to me this 50 minutes was always like a marathon race to be run. And I really never had enough words to fill up 50 minutes. And that was when I decided to do something else and join the diplomatic service, where you could get away with about 5 minutes of speaking. And indeed, when I joined the foreign service, I had a foreign minister who greatly encouraged me, because he told me that a good diplomat is one who thinks 10 times and then says nothing. It is indeed a daunting task to talk about Mahatma Gandhi, who is truly a colossus who bestrides not only India but the modern world. I am one of those who did not see Mahatma Gandhi. I was born after he passed away. But of course, like all Indians of my generation, I was enormously influenced by Mahatma Gandhi and his ideas. First of all, I think the enormity of his political achievement, gaining independence for India through non-violent means, is something which has been, many people have attempted after him to do that, and some have succeeded. Dr. Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King come to mind. But the fact that Mahatma Gandhi pioneered this method of taking on enormously powerful forces. He was a man who, with a loincloth and sandals, a pair of spectacles and a walking stick, decided to take on the might of the British Empire, of which it was said that the sun never sets on the British Empire, and who, funnily enough, was successful in doing so. So that, I think, is something which we need to reflect over. This year, as you know, we are celebrating the 60th anniversary of India's independence. And I was reflecting on this because many people, we had an Independence Day reception, and many people came up to me and congratulated me on India's 60th birthday. And I reflected on that, and of course, it was not India's 60th birthday. We are an enormously old civilization, 5,000 years or more. So what does it mean when we say India's independence? Yes, of course, it was our independence from British rule, from centuries of colonial exploitation. But it was for the first time that Indians, as a nation, Indians became conscious of being a nation and became conscious of being able to shape their own destiny. And I think for this, we need to give the credit to Mahatma Gandhi, who was the pioneer of our independence movement. It was after he came back from South Africa in 1915 that the Indian National Congress was really molded. Was really molded, can you hear me? Into an instrument for political agitation, for disseminating ideas of independence, freedom, for mobilizing the masses. And I think Gandhi's ideas have continued to influence independent India throughout these 60 years. For example, his idea of the spinning wheel, the charkha, of not using British manufactured cloth, I think that indeed inspired our early industrialization, when self-reliance was a very important mantra to which we subscribed, and which, although it is criticized today in this age of globalization, has brought us to a stage where our industries can stand on their own feet, where we can face global competition. Another of Gandhi's very important ideas is the thought that there is no difference between the means and the ends. That if you adopt bad means, your ends can never be good. And the fact that he went so effortlessly from the individual to the social. Here was a man who started the Quit India movement, and at the height of that movement called it off because of one isolated incident of violence in a police station, because then he thought that the means had been sullied, so the ends could never be attained in a proper manner. And I think many of the ideas which we have grown up with, for example, that the medium is a message, or when you say think globally, act locally, these are all ideas which Gandhiji incorporated in his life. And today, I think, when India stands on the cusp of a new revolution, when we look forward with optimism and confidence to the coming century, and we feel that at last we will have our place in the sun, I think that we owe much of this to Gandhiji and to his vision of India, his vision of an independent and a free India. I would like to conclude by quoting Einstein, who said after Gandhiji's death that generations to come will scarce believe that such a being walked on earth in flesh and blood. And that, of course, is a wonderful tribute, but which I think is also part of the problem, because Gandhiji is such a colossus, he's so much above us that we have tended to deify him. We have tended to look at him as a saint rather than as an ordinary man. And Gandhiji said that I am an average man with less than average ability, but this average man, his achievements are so enormous that I think we in India have a great debt to repay as we go forward in this coming century. Thank you very much.